Thing.
Good evening, everybody.
Up here.
We are back.
We're back.
We were in South Texas for a little while. Just needed some warmer weather.
Yeah, it wasn't hot enough, so we figured we would go
down
where
south.
it is really hot.
Mm-hmm.
So we went down there, and we're back.
And now we're back. Y'all didn't even notice we were gone, did you?
You didn't even notice. Oh, let me adjust the camera. Right center.
So you have an article for us tonight?
Yeah, we were going to cover this Midwest drought. Just talk about that for a couple minutes. Then we're going to talk about a bunch of other stuff.
Housekeeping stuff.
And I'm eating my dinner. So
show them your dinner.
So my dinner consists of meat, fatty meat. So
from the farm.
Super great. And this is our meat.
From the farm.
And it's grass fed.
So speaking of meat, let me just do a couple announcements real quick. I worked really hard on our website today. So for those of you who haven't been over there lately, go check out the texasboys.com. That is our little farm shop where we sell all kinds of things from candles to meat to coffee line, to just all different things. Our honey's over there. Just go check it out and get something for yourself. And in doing so, you will be supporting our family business here. Also, I just wanted to make the announcement that I think both of the cows are sold. So they are loaded up on the trailer and going in tomorrow morning to the processor. I think I got the notes for everybody that had ordered their beef from us. And I think that there's like a half of pork left, maybe 2 halves of pork left. So if you're in the East Texas area and you're interested in pork in the next few weeks, there are still, I think, 2 halves available. And they are the Manged Lisas that we had this month. And I'm really excited to get them and try them out. So all of our beef, of course, is, and all of our meats are, of course, non-vaccinated, non-medicated. All of the information's on the website. We don't use any herbicides or pesticides on our pastures. So they are chemical-free, all al natural, just plain old meat the way God intended it. So that's what you get when you buy any meat from us. That's what it is. Yeah, so I think that's all of our housekeeping that we got for right now.
It's all for right now. I wanted to cover this information that's going to be impacting all of us in the sense of depending on where you get your animal feed and where it's sourced and whatnot. But this comes to us via natural news. And also, I want to make you all aware of 2 other things. The Epoch Times did a great little write-up on us. So I'm going to put that in the live chat.
Hey there, Michelle Slack.
And then also we had the great opportunity of visiting Mike Adams' facility. And Mike Adams is who puts out Natural News. But we visited Mike Adams' facility, got a whole tour of the production process and how they manufacture the products, how they systematically test the products, how they package and ship the products. It is very incredibly impressive. And it was very kind of Mike to give us that whole tour. And we did an interview that should be posting on Brighteon probably sometime this week. So
that's awesome. So
we'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah, we'll keep y'all posted on that. That was super fun. And Mike Adams was a really great host and having our family down there. And it was just really, really neat being able to tour his facility and all the things that he has going on there and all the different products, and it's all in-house. It's just really, really cool. So we're going to be coming out with some of his products. He sent us home with a box of stuff to try.
And and they're
really excited.
Very high quality. So we're excited about some of these products, sharing them with y'all. And so we'll have affiliate links for all that good stuff here. We'll have a landing page, and then we'll add it to our website as well.
Yeah.
Looking forward to that. We
haven't started shipping yet, Shiloh Mom, but it's something that we've thought about. But for right now, I think we're just doing the meat local, just keeping it local. It just makes it a lot simpler for us at this point. We don't have all the manpower that it would take to ship to start that whole process. So sorry about that. But our good friends over at Mercy Meadows Ranch, we'll leave that link there for you. Mercy Meadows Ranch, they do ship, and their beef is primo,
high quality.
Yes. So
when we were down visiting them too, because they are in that area, so we got to spend some time with them at their ranch, and it's much drier down there than it is up here.
Yes.
But they just got a little bit of rain, so praise the Lord for that. But okay, so let's talk about this article, and then we can kind of
talk about carnivore.
I'm kind of pretty pumped about carnivore. But Midwest drought blamed for soaring corn, soy, and wheat prices. And while we're carnivore, that doesn't exactly impact us, but it does impact animal feed. This is probably all big ag stuff, but nonetheless, there's an enormous trickle-down effect. We had a substantial drought here last year. Texas in general had a massive drought in 2011. So we're kind of familiar with this whole process, but this is even what the different Bloomberg and whatnot. Let's see. Let's get over here so I can scroll down. Lack of rainfall across the American Midwest is taking the blame for corn, soy, and wheat inflation. Now, weather is absolutely manipulated. Weather as a Weapon was a white paper that you can access as a PDF online. It's very much very real. We know that aerosolized injections are real. We know that weather modification is real. And now, does that mean that every weather event is weaponized? Don't know. Is it a possibility? Yeah. But it's easy to blame too. So, and prior to the government's monkeying with weather, there were major weather events. So, that's all of my disclaimers or whatever. But the amount of the United States corn crop rated good to excellent has dropped to just 55%, according to reports, the lowest for this time of the growing season since 1992. A week prior, that figure was 61%, with traders guessing that it would drop to just 58%. I'm very concerned about the weather, expressed Sherman Newland, an Illinois farmer who grows corn and soybeans. So he's your big ag corn and soy guy. I'm sure he gets subsidies and all that stuff. Low humidity, 90-degree temps, and now the wind is sucking the moisture out of the crops really fast. Some farmers are witnessing what is known as rootless corn syndrome, a rarely seen but unfortunately quite common for corn planted in May phenomenon, to quote one farmer, that exhibits the drought stress being felt by many Midwestern corn crops. We need rain, tweeted Chuck Grassley, that good old district criminal Republicard from Iowa, about summer distress that soybean crops are displaying. The no-till bean in last year's corn stover is beginning to look like a bean field. However, if you observe a bean plant up close, you see colorations that result from drought. 95 of our 99 counties are in some stage of drought. On Natural News back in May, they reported on U.S. farmers abandoning failed wheat crops at the fastest rate since World War I. And then on top of this, take all the Ukraine and the proxy nonsense going on overseas in the breadbasket of the world, basically, and it's going to exacerbate these issues by a factor of 100 or so. Illinois farmers shocked by dismal corn production in the state. Another farmer tweeted a photo of some very sad looking corn stalks in a dry field, stating that he does not believe the dry land will make it through the week unless a considerable amount of rain falls. 3 years in a row in June, we have had drought conditions and leaf rolling in corn at our Irvington TD Focusrite, said another farmer. Illinois is the nation's second largest producer of corn, but growing conditions so far this year have been horrible. About 36% of the state's crop was rated good to excellent for the week ending of June 18, down 12%, 12 percentage points versus the prior week. And we are still producing idiotic ethanol, so that will continue to absorb corn. And I realize that's not an edible corn product, but it's certainly taking up the soil of plantable land for big ag and the old district of criminals and their subsidy idiotic retardation, while they then tweet out and complain like Chuck Grassley that they need rain when these idiots are doing everything they can to subsidize and implode our food infrastructure. They talk out of both sides of their mouth while they do it. I was shocked at the big drop in Illinois' ratings Newland added. I knew we were bad, but wow, according to the latest data from the U.S. Drought Monitor map, the Corn Belt states, which includes Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, Ohio, and Wisconsin, are all experiencing moderate drought to exceptional drought. The timing could not be worse. It's important to note, as the plants are all very young still and are much more likely to die from such stress compared to later in the growing season when they would be more mature and more resilient. There's little sign of relief for crops in the forecast, reported Bloomberg. As of this writing, wheat futures are up 20% on the month, while soy futures are up 14% and corn futures are up 13%. Without substantial rain in the next month or so, the consequences could be dire, with farmers abandoning their fields and harvest plunging. Bloomberg added about this very bad start to the 2023 summer growing season. One commenter noted that with the way things are going, there will be world starvation on board, along with higher food prices in the fall. Another suggested that perhaps farmers should return to the heirloom strains of their crops, which are better able to withstand varied climate conditions, unlike the GMO trash they plant that is designed to fail. Ask Africa and India about failed GMO crops that starved millions, this person added. Will there be enough food to go around next winter? Well, that's what everybody has been wondering and speculating and pontificating about. But that was the article that I wanted to cover. And this is going to dramatically, with all this retarded ethanol fuel stuff, it's going to push fuel prices up. It's going to push up animal feed. It's just going to artificially drive up the price of everything. So once again, and they manipulate, and I always find it very interesting how, oh, wonderful, Indiana, it's finally starting to rain.
Yeah, if we go up, if we scroll up, I think Shervin was saying, go up. Shervin, I don't know where you're at. If you could leave it over there for us, but you were saying that they weren't, see that comment up there, we were in drought, but now tropical humidity, storms, rain. It's not usually like this. 11 days, maybe more. Some garden is rotting. So I don't know where you're at. If you could let us know what state you're in. And then somebody else said there is a little rain in Indiana right now.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
We know all about the drought. I mean, last year was
Oh, Connecticut.
brutal. Oh,
Sherman
Connecticut.
is in
Okay.
Connecticut. Yeah.
So, yeah, this was more about the Midwest, I think, situation. But yeah, the drought last year was, it caused a lot of damage. And our neighbor, Mr. Larry, who's been doing local beef for many, many years, said this is going to take years to catch up. The implications of last year's drought, we won't be seeing those implications in our beef prices until, I forget what he was saying, like how much time down the road.
Yeah,
Like
it'll have a 3-year
it's going to take some time to
catch up,
to do all that. Okay, so Ohio got a little bit of rain last 2 days.
Wow. Went 21 days in Ohio with
Wow.
0 rain. Yeah, that's definitely a drought, especially for Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Yeah, that's dry up there. So praying for the whole Midwest, because it does have major implications on our animals.
Affects everybody.
It affects everybody. So just be praying, y'all, that they get some rain.
Yeah, it certainly affects people trying to grow food. You know, not just the big ag people. It affects everybody trying to grow food in that region. You know, it's affecting everyone.
Sure.
And we can really relate with it because last year was brutal. And it, and it really cost us hay-wise. Man, we probably spent $8,000 last year in bringing in hay.
And we don't have that many cows.
Yeah, and we only had
don't have
15 head, and we still spent $8,000 in hay.
It's expensive to feed animals in a drought. So yeah, lots of praying. I have a question for Benjamin. Or should we switch gears here to carnivore?
Yeah, switch her up.
All right, y'all ready to talk about carnivore stuff for a little while? So it affects Hawaii too. Yeah, it affects everybody.
Yeah, Ben was saying that, like, Hawaii. I mean, Hawaii is incredibly tropical, and I don't think it's been raining there, which is unusual because it kind of rains there every day.
Yeah, and I'm sure they ship in a lot of things. I'm sure they have massive imports going into Hawaii. It's just like Alaska, so they're dependent on the mainland for a lot of things, I'm sure. So Benjamin, I have a question for you. I saw up earlier in the conversation that you were talking about, you no longer drink oat milk because it's a seed oil. I'm just curious about that. Is oat milk considered a seed oil? I see that you said you only drink animal milk now, no longer oat milk. Was that because the seed oils added to the oat milk? I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm sure that the imports are very heavily relied upon. Yeah. Flooding and
oat milk contains seed oils.
Oh, like you're talking about grocery store oat milk.
Yeah.
Okay.
You could make your own.
Okay. Yeah. The seed oils are added. Okay. I was like, how do oats have seed oils? But I wasn't sure. Okay. Yeah. Because we were making our own for a long time. And now we just use coconut cream, canned coconut cream in our coffee. And
which we import.
Probably from Hawaii. No, we're very dependent on it.
It's very good.
It's very, very good. It took us a while to find a good one, but we did finally find a good one. Yeah, they are added to every fake milk in the grocery store.
Carrageenan.
They're horrible with the ad and stuff in. I mean, you've really got to read your packages. And I've been listening a lot to Dr. Barry, and he's one of the big doctors in the carnivore movement.
Proper human diet.
The proper human diet he talks about, and he talks a lot about making sure you're reading your packages too. Even when it does come to meat, there's healthier meats and then there's less healthy meats. And although you can get good results on different things, still we have to be careful, y'all. Like somebody was just saying, I think if we scroll up, somebody was talking about the mRNA, and you're right. And they're putting that in a lot of the pork products I hear. And these are just really dangerous things that we have no idea what the ramifications of those things in our food is going to be. What will we say about raw milk? We're dairy free. So you could do your own research on raw milk and what some of these carnivore doctors, that's what we're kind of following right now for our family, just because it's sustainable and it's really good for your health. So that's what we're doing. And I think they're fine with animal milks.
Yeah, and they're definitely really fine with butter. They're definitely fine with raw milk.
Yeah.
We used to have an A2 cow. I absolutely loved raw milk. I love raw eggs.
Yeah.
So I'm big on it. It's definitely works as far as like a carnivore, a keto.
Yeah.
So it's,
but I don't think it's necessary. Like you don't
No.
have to have milk and dairy
we're
products
dairy free. Yeah.
to be carnivore.
Mhm.
You can just have meat. And for us, we're just trying to keep it really, really simple and streamlined with our food. So why add in something that I have to go purchase or buy, or if I have to buy a cow and invest in all that? It's, cows aren't free. You have to feed them and take care of them. So yeah, we're not into that type of commitment either. And dairy made me blow up. I got huge on dairy, and my thyroid went crazy on dairy. So
Yeah.
and that was raw dairy, but we were consuming a lot of raw dairy.
Well, that's the thing about having a cow. You're going to consume an enormous, especially if you have a good cow, you're going to produce an enormous amount of dairy. So therefore, you're going to consume an enormous amount of dairy. So
Yeah.
I don't like goats at all. I'm going to give you a biblical analogy that I believe bears good weight here. God refers to lost people as goats. So when you understand the goat fencing struggle, you will appreciate God's analogy of goats. They said, you need if you want a goat fence to hold in a goat, the fence has to be able to keep out water. Okay, so that is the proper requirements for goat fencing. So if you want to keep the goat in, the fence has got to be so good it keeps water out.
Yeah.
So
and those little Nigerian goats are a lot easier on fencing, but they don't make as much milk at all. So we've had goats, we've kept goats for years, and we much preferred having our Jersey cows over keeping goats. But, to each their own, and it's less milk to deal with, and it's more manageable in some aspects, but it's more complicated.
And goats will make you lose your religion. So then there's that. I'm joking. That's another goat / food /
we
theology
don't really
joke.
miss the dairy. Like once you're not addicted to it anymore, you really just don't crave it. Like it's nice if you have it, like if you're out somewhere or something and you had it.
Yeah, I get a great goat story.
Okay.
So my older brother, who was, really into status symbols and everything, and he had a very successful sod farm for a while, and they had goats, and they were kind of like pets. And one day, and he had one of these really big, super big boat BMWs. It was like, I'm not into Beamers anymore, but it was like, I think it was like some kind of 130 CI, one of these really big 4-door Beamers. And he came home one day and the goat was standing on the, not the hood, but the,
Top.
yeah, standing on the top of the car. And I thought that was awesome and rather hilarious, but that's what goats are good for. They're good for like climbing on your very expensive, gigantic BMW and jacking it all up. So we had a goat and his name was Moses. And I came home from work one day, and because Moses was a buck, and and all these people that glamorize rotational grazing, electronic fencing, right? We were doing all that. And one of our nanny goats, they're so stinking stupid. She got into the electric fencing. Instead of running away from it, she ran into it and got wrapped in the electrical fencing and acted like she was going to electrocute herself to death or whatever. That was a separate anecdotal injection of my Moses story. So because Moses was a buck, and we figured rather than do the pen thing, we would stake him out and let him do sections, right, and rotate him around.
Because he was a troublemaker. He did not stay in the electric netting fencing.
Yeah.
And
you're not.
All the other girls to get out.
Walk through it. And that's why
right
this stupid nanny goat was like stuck in the fence.
So
because of Momo. So we're like, I'm going to stake him out. So we stake him out, put a collar on him, stake him out, tried to use a smaller stake. Of course, that didn't work. And he loved like getting out and trashing the fruit trees because they really like doing that. And they're awesome. Goats are awesome at like destroying relatively really awesome fruit trees. They're just like great. And what they'll do is they'll girdle them just enough to kill them, just enough to destroy the trees. They won't eat them or receive any type of positive benefit from it. They will just kind of destroy them and leave them like scorched earth, tattered on the ground. Yes. So because Moses annihilated about 10 different fruit trees of varying variety, I'm like, I'll stake them out. We'll move the stake. The smaller stake didn't work. So I'm gonna use a T-post, dude. I got this guy's number. I'm gonna use a T-post. We'll use the chain collar thing, and
this is a long story.
So we chain this idiot retard goat to the T-post, right? Well, he's great. He's doing perfect, man. He's like circling the T-post, and then something happens. Somehow the tether gets quasi-fetched on like nothing, right? So Moses, in his infinite wisdom, continues to circle the T-post in an attempt to escape. But as he does, now there's great biblical analogies here, y'all. So as Moses continues to circle, almost like 40 laps around Mount Sinai, right? Moses is like,
40 laps
I think I'm
the gum tree.
I think I'm messing up my patriarchs here, but anyway. So Moses is circling the T-post, much like the flushing toilet, right? And he gets closer and closer and closer. And now here I am. I pull in from a hard day's work. I'm sure it was incredibly hot outside. I could promise you it was in the middle of summer, with a median temperature of probably 103. And I get out of my truck and I hear bah. Right. So here's Moses. I'm like, oh, what's he doing now? I come around the corner of the back of the house, and here's Moses, and he has gotten himself within about 6 inches of the T-post, right? And he continues to go round and round, and so I start running. Running at Moses, right?
Yep.
And I run at Moses. Moses continues to strive to advance in the direction of the T-post while his tether continues to shorten, which in turn is not just strangulating him, but elevating him off the ground to the point where his tongue is hanging out of his mouth and has turned a dark blue. And he's like, ah, ah.
It all happened within like
Yeah, and it all
a minute.
it happens within milliseconds.
And you were like running across the yard to go help him.
Fortunately, I had 2 good shoulders at the time.
He was big. He was a big white Sonnengoat.
Oh yeah, he was over 100 pounds. So
Yeah,
I had to.
dairy.
He was hanging from the T-post relatively, and all of the goat lovers would be, that's because you didn't do this and you didn't do that and blah blah blah. But that is, if you've ever had a goat, you know that's totally not true, y'all. They devise ways to kill themselves. Hence, God uses the analogy of comparing lost people to goats. So I had to literally deadlift Moses
so he could get air
up off the ground and he could start to breathe. Then I had to pirouette like a deadlifting ballerina and continue the unwinding process.
He saved him.
Of the 200-pound goat.
Michelle wanted to know what the point was. He saved him.
So that's the point.
He saved him. He saved Moses.
And the hatred. We saved Moses. We sent him and all his ladies to a very good home where they lived happily ever after. Mm-hmm. And they had a magnitude of baby goats.
They did.
And all was well in Goatville. But I will never live in Goatville again. So that is the moral of the story. Yeah. And so if you want milk, get a cow. That's another moral of the story.
Cows are so much easier.
We are non-dairy. And we did love our A2A2 honey bun. She was a super gigantic puppy dog.
Yeah. And so was baby girl. She was a real sweet cow.
Baby girl and
good.
Honey bun.
Yeah. They were both awesome.
So
just
all things to consider if you're thinking about getting goats.
But you can't do it all. And, sometimes it's better to support if you have a local raw dairy, like some of you were saying, it's better to support that because it is expensive.
Very much so.
To take care of a cow. And you got to be able to have people around you that know what to do when the cow comes down with pneumonia or something happens. You have to know how to give shots. You have to know how to do things to save the cow's life because those things happen and you could be out a lot of money.
Yeah, and in the grand scheme, like our 2 local raw dairies are very reasonably priced.
Yeah,
we bought from there. I mean,
absolutely.
So I would definitely, if that's an option, I would definitely lean that way into that option because the other thing is when you have a milk cow, I mean, you're married to that cow while it's in milk. Like you ain't going anywhere.
Yeah,
you're milking twice a day.
Yeah,
and
yeah, it's a big commitment,
mega commitment,
Yeah. So we've done that, but we're happy with our meat right now. We're just happy with meat.
Very, very pleased with the meatitarian
So
diet.
let's talk about some of the benefits. We're coming up on this Thursday will be 3 weeks that we've been eating carnivore. And let's talk about like the progress of it, like what benefits have we seen of it, all that kind of stuff. Let's share. Because this is something anybody can do. This is the exciting thing that I'm really excited about with this is because it helps your prepping. It helps simplify your cooking. It helps simplify your grocery shopping. Everything just gets so much simpler on this and it takes such a burden off of you aside from the fact that you're not going to be addicted to food like you were before.
Correct.
So it's just a win, y'all.
All right, easy. Win. So we are the positive. So and I've listened to a lot of carnivore stuff, and just like anything, I consider everything with skepticism. Now,
Sure.
I wasn't skeptical of carnivore because of all my weightlifting stuff and the amount of meat I used to eat and protein loading and all that stuff. So I knew there was, and the whole Atkins thing, I knew there was an enormous amount of benefits. But when these guys would say, well, I started carnivore and I stopped snoring and I slept better and all this stuff, I was like, well, we'll see. But it definitely dramatically improves your sleep pattern. I'm pretty sure I've never done a sleep study, but I'm pretty sure I have some type of sleep apnea. And for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I have been sleeping all the way through the night, actually waking up. I used to wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock regardless. Now I wake up at my alarm at 5 and I sleep very well. If I wake up at night, I fall right back to sleep almost every time. Um, the other thing that I have noticed just in the last week, so I did a stem cell video on a stem cell update. And as my life would usually have it, immediately after doing the stem cell video, I was having continuous progress and I was kind of astounded, like, wow, I'm not supposed to continue. As soon as I made that video, I started not having issues in my shoulder, but it was getting tighter. I could feel that it wasn't progressing, that I wasn't having as much success and advancing. And then last week, it started feeling better again. And I don't necessarily know that it was inflammation or whatever, but it was getting tighter and tighter. And so you start to become when you deal with something like that for 7 years and it progressively gets worse, you obviously get paranoid as soon as there's any kind of pullback. But for the last week, my shoulders started to progress again. And then I was listening to a podcast with Dr. Barry and Shafi, the guy from Australia. Now, some of the carnivore stuff is incredibly hyperbolic, and your ancestral DNA stuff,
Right, the theory.
that's
We've said before
that's some kooky talk
that
stuff.
we don't
Yeah,
abide by the theory.
Yeah, because when you start talking about your ancestral DNA and what do animals eat? They eat meat. Well, wait a minute. If I eat a cow, that cow doesn't eat meat. You know what I mean? So that kind of. But so that all that being said, Shafi was talking about obviously it takes an enormously long time for your joints, and my labrum is like 30% gone. So it takes a long time for that stuff to erode and go away. So it's going to take an incredibly long time for it to come back. But I'm potentially holding out hope that it will. And as we've stated many times, we're not on this like ultra strict carnivore diet. Like Primark blackberries are in season right now.
Right.
And I'm eating like 3 or 4 or 5 cups a day.
Even Dr. Barry says keto, ketovore, carnivore, any of those three you're going to see massive improvements with your health in all areas. So it doesn't have to be strict carnivore. It can be ketovore, it can be keto, or it could be carnivore. Now, obviously, if you go deep dive on carnivore, you're going to see the most drastic results the fastest, but you can play around. There's some wiggle room in that. So I think our wiggle room has been fruit, and I see Benjamin saying that he still eats fruit too, meat and fruit. So we have the first week I had baskets full of fruit in my kitchen like I always do, and the first week I let myself eat fruit. I just still ate all my meat, but I ate fruit too because I really, really liked it. And I think mentally I needed that time to just like get in gear to not eat like 3 grapefruits a day. Like I just needed that time. But into the second week, we didn't buy all of the basket fruit and we just ate out of our freezer just the frozen berries, which is frozen strawberries and frozen blueberries, which is totally keto. Berries are fine. And ketovore. what they say. So so we just put frozen berries, either it's blueberry or strawberry, in the blender with some water, and we still use a scoop of it's a very clean protein powder, but it has a sweetener in it. And I know stevia, there's a lot of things out on it, either way, whatever, but it's an organic stevia. But it really, really tastes good. And I think at this process in the game, I don't have a smoothie every single day, but I can go a few days and not have one, but when we have the little kids have one every day. My big boys have a smoothie every day, but they eat meat and eggs or just meat for breakfast, and then they're eating just meat for dinner, and it's been great. And the other grace that I've allowed for my kids is like a clean barbecue sauce. There, I got a few different ones, even on. Online that's like Primal Kitchen or something like that. They're a little bit more expensive, but they don't have as much junk in them. We're gonna work into making our own sauces and our own things. And I know there's like gravies and things that you can make carnivore, all from just the fat and the butter and all the stuff like that too. We just haven't gotten that far. We're not even to week 3 yet. So, and we went away. And how easy was it when we went away to eat meat?
It was awesome.
It was
very
so easy. It was so inexpensive.
And that's what I'd recommend to Shervin. You know, she's like, I like the idea of carnivore, but not sure if we could afford all the grass fed at 15 plus a pound. I would.
It doesn't have to be grass fed.
It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be grass fed.
In a perfect world, you know, we've always been predominantly organic, but when it comes to budget and implementation, you know what you want, you take what you get.
That's right.
And there's an inordinate amount of data about carnivore and the positive effects. And you don't have to be puritanical.
Nope.
I mean, obviously, if you could be, you should be. I mean, if you can, you should, but we all can't.
You don't have to break the bank to,
you don't have to
do it.
Yeah.
And if you're not buying all of the other food, you're just buying meat. And like if you were going to do it like us, buy some berries, frozen berries, to give yourself a treat. That's all you're buying. So if that's all you're buying, that's a lot. But yeah, and the other thing is, it doesn't have to be perfect. And check out, I'm totally not into pushing for the big grocery stores or anything like that, but Aldi's once in a while, and I think currently right now they're having a really great deal on grass-fed ground beef, and it's grocery store grass-fed.
Yeah, and it's Aldi's,
but it's $3.99 a pound right now, y'all. So take it for whatever it is. A friend of mine, she has a deal with a local butcher shop, and she goes in there, and her and her husband get all of their beef. They get all their cuts, all their stuff there, and it's so inexpensive. It's even more expensive than buying it from a local farmer.
Yeah, and she's worried about the vax, so I would do that. Like, just work through a local butcher and a local farmer, and even if it's not organic, just you can get vax free stuff, and there's good people out there that'll sell stuff like that, and it's still possible. So and I would encourage you to.
All of these different doctors, when you start listening to their information, they're so deep into it. It's not like listening to some other types of eating where it's just people are seeing different results, but it's not super based in research and medical. And it's just really encouraging listening to some of these doctors. If you get on their live streams and listen, it's amazing. So I would not just, say I can't do it because I can't find a farmer or I can't eat grass fed or whatever. Don't let that deter you. Just do the best you can. And when you're not buying all the other stuff, it does give you more money to buy meat. But I mean, when we went away, it was, it was just so easy. I mean,
and the thing is when you're eating high fat foods, like I know that if I eat a ample portion of this, like I'm not going to be hungry. You can easily eat twice a day.
Mhm.
You know, I eat once a day, and I don't know when you're going to do your whole clothing thing, but everybody keeps clamoring about your attire.
I changed all my dresses.
So, and everybody keeps saying,
I
when are
know.
you going to
I
do a
gotta do it.
clothing
I gotta do it.
haul?
I promise, I'm gonna do it. The girls at church have been asking, the ladies at church have been asking, and I gotta show y'all. I'm so excited about my
So it's
dresses,
exciting.
my daughter's dresses.
Very excited.
We went all dresses, y'all. We're all meat and all dresses right now.
Meat
Just
and
it's
dresses.
the way that.
I do eat only meat predominantly, but I do not wear a dress ever, nor
He
do I
did.
wear a kilt
Okay, so what
because I'm
else?
not a
So
pagan.
so sleep. I can totally say that we've both lost weight. I mean, obviously that's going to happen.
Well, yes, yeah.
I mean, we've definitely lost weight. And I think like my mind is clearer and I have more energy like throughout the day. So I'm still getting up in the morning. I have my coffee. I don't put any sweetener in it, which I haven't in like 5 years.
I put a little bit of our honey in it, so I still do that. You know, I still do 4 raw eggs and my honey, and I still sometimes do the organic cacao in there.
Right.
That's my thing,
Yeah. So that's
and
his morning.
that covers me till 5, 6 o'clock. When did we eat tonight? I ate at 7.
Right. And
I
if
did
you
not eat
got
anything.
hungry during the day, you could stop and
Well, I could, yeah.
get some jerky.
Yeah, like the Epic. Epic has a Wagyu or and it's relatively reasonable. You know, Natural Grocers has it for $2.15 a stick. You know, and if you eat 2 of those, and you're getting like 16 grams of protein, it's very clean.
Mhm. And then
And you're good to go.
what was the other thing that you're going to be adding in? Was the Redmond?
The Redmond, the electrolytes from Redmond.
Right. It's called Relight.
Yeah, Relight. My buddy Josh over at the Co-Movement podcast, he's got Redmond as an affiliate. So I contacted them. So we're going to probably be adding Redmond because we already use Real Salt exclusively pretty much. I would like to implement them from an ag standpoint with the horses and the cows for their salt licks, and then we're adding the Relight to our electrolyte. You know, I work outside all day. I was in the sun all day, so I'm perpetually drinking water and electrolytes all day. Because if you're not, you're gonna be jacked up, and you're not even know it. Like I work with guys that work all through the summer and in this heat for decades, and they still, like, you'll catch them outside and they're like, yo, dude, you're dehydrated. You need to sit down and drink.
It's dangerous.
You know, and it's not enough to just drink water. You got to be getting the electrolytes, and you know, that's all part of the carnivore ketovore thing. And I know, Wolf has a good one that Ricky Verandis, because Ricky Verandis on the I forget his podcast, but he uses that one. He's carnivore or ketovore, and then but the Redmond
Relight.
the Relight
that
is
seems like
really
a
good
good
stuff,
clean.
and it's reasonably priced, and it's a great clean source. So
Yep.
we just, what do you know? The flavor we just ordered was
I
the
think it was
lime
like,
cherry or something.
I think it was strawberry lemonade.
Strawberry lemonade. I don't know yet because we haven't got it.
There were several flavors. And then the other idea with that is you can get like a case of seltzer water and just put the Redmond's Relight into your seltzer water. So if you're used to drinking energy drinks during the day, which I'm not, but my older boys, they drink like not horrible, bad for you energy drinks, but they drink like these natural health drinks.
Machu Picchu.
But it's still not perfect, and there's not electrolytes in it. So I said, just stop drinking those and let's just go with the Redmond's Relight and just buy a case of seltzer water and just
because
do
of
that.
the sugar, everything's got so much stinking sugar.
Yeah, and they were buying this other like natural packet stuff and putting it in it. But anyway, so yeah, I think that's
awesome.
So my morning, I have my coffee, just some coconut cream in it, and I will make up 2 big, I don't know what they are, 2 pounds. I think they're 2 pounds each of sausage. What are our
Yeah, they're
sausage?
2 pounds.
They're 2 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's 4 pounds of sausage. And so I just take 2 pounds of ground sausage, throw them in the cast iron with a little bit of water, and I just let them cook. And then that will be breakfast for me and the little ones for like a couple days or more. So once the sausage is all cooked up, I just have my sausage. This morning we had fried eggs with it, and
Oh, I love sunny side up eggs.
they're
They're so
they're
good.
so good. And we have our own eggs here on the farm, so that works out really good. And then yeah, that holds me over all day. Some days I'll have a smoothie with the kids because they make a smoothie, but it's just fruit and water. And like I said, that little scoop of protein powder, which is just basically to give it some flavor, because if it was just frozen fruit and water, it wouldn't taste as yummy.
Yeah,
So
Stephanie News said that Aldi's has the Epix jerky for under $2.
yeah, so it's
That
so
might be a good go-to for me. If I, like today, I mean, I had my 4 eggs in my coffee this morning at like 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Mhm.
And, I ate at 7. I was in the sun all day. I probably
Right.
drank 2 gallons of water with
Mhm.
electrolytes every time.
Right.
Right now, I have the trace mineral electrolyte, which is really good, but it has a little bit of cane sugar in it. And I just like to, it's organic cane sugar and all that stuff, but it's got the electrolytes and the trace minerals. But that's why I like the Redmond, because it has all the trace minerals and the electrolytes. The
Yes.
absolute one thing that you don't want to drink is Gatorade. It is terrible. Gatorade is super terrible, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
got a bunch of disgusting junk in it, and it's
Yeah.
got red dye, yellow dye, and
Mostly
blue
at
dye.
anything from the grocery store that's down that drink aisle, you do not want to put in your body. There is nothing good in the main grocery stores unless you're going into some kind of health food store to get something. There is really no
Yeah.
mainstream drink that, and we're not big on that because it's just a waste of money
Yeah,
anyway.
we've never been
We've never
big
been
drinks
like
people, period,
juice
because
and
yeah.
all of those things. We've just never done that. We give our kids water.
And yeah, as a
And
matter
that's
of
it.
fact, we're going to be doing, I don't know if we'll do a watch along in real time or if we'll record it and edit it, but there was an awesome video that Dr. Barry did exposing uh, big, big soda and
Oh, yeah.
big corn syrup.
Yes.
And so we're going to go over that video. So many minutes, we're not going to do the whole thing,
Yeah.
but it was excellent.
Yeah.
Lots of great
Yeah.
information. We'll do that. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow night live.
That would be cool.
So I already downloaded the footage so we can play it through
That would be super
Restream.
cool. But the meal planning has been so easy for a family, and I'm sure it'll be even easier if there's less than 8 of you in your house. There, it will be even easier. But it's just meat. So I mean, I make up a bunch of ground sausage. I serve it, and then when everybody's done eating, I just take the rest of it. It's already cooked now. I put it in a little pan, and I cover it up with plastic wrap, and I stick it in the freezer. And then every morning I can just take some of that out, reheat it up. If we want eggs with it, I can make eggs with it, and then we're good to go. And then in the afternoon, I go to my freezer and I just get a whole bunch of meat. So tonight was beef night. So I just loaded up my Instapot all the way to the top. As long as the lid will still go on and close, that's how I measure how much meat we're going to have. And I just put some water in there, and you can season it if you want to. And then I just cook it for 2.5 hours. Frozen meat. I mean, it doesn't get any easier than that. And then, so tonight was beef. So probably tomorrow night we'll do pork. And we just kind of been rotating it like that. Maybe once a week we might do fish. And that is pretty much it. And it's been great. I mean,
Wonderful.
the boys made hamburgers tonight on the back grill, and the kids have all been enjoying it. We had hamburgers last night with fried eggs
Hamburgers are so good.
on top of them, and we did have pickles, y'all. We did cheat
you
and have some
can.
pickles.
The thing is like if you're eating clean, you don't have to be puritanical.
They weren't high fructose corn
Yeah,
syrup
they were
pickles.
dill pickles.
They were just regular.
But every blue moon, I'll put like bread and butter pickles on there.
Right,
and
but it's
awesome.
still
That's
clean ingredients. It's
Yeah.
not you have to be careful. There's only like a couple jars of pickles at the grocery store
barely.
left that you can even.
And we got cucumbers going, so we'll probably make our own pickles probably.
Mhm.
The mint lighter is going great, so we're gonna have a decent harvest this year, I think. The corn is doing really great. That's gonna be neat to see how that goes. But
Eggs with plenty of butter are his mainstay for breakfast.
oh yeah, I just do the raw eggs right in the coffee, man. And you put an immersion blender in there, and it's like epic. And you're gonna do that, and you're like, wait a minute, I don't need creamer in my coffee anymore. And it is so super primo with like a tablespoon of honey.
And the kids add lots of raw eggs to their smoothies. So that works out good too. So yeah, and I did my Azure order today.
We're gonna have an Azure haul.
First big order. We've gotten things from Azure in the past that were just like supplements for the cow and stuff like that, but that was a long time ago. But this was an actual big order, and I'm so excited because now the pickup is like 20 minutes away, and it's so easy. And I ordered a 30-pound case of frozen organic strawberries. And
wait a minute, we're carnivore. Why are you ordering all this fruit?
Well, it's just for our smoothies.
Oh.
And then I ordered a 30-pound box of frozen organic blueberries. And the price, y'all, the price per pound was great. Like, plus the price was great. And it's organic, which is not what I'm able to get at that price. So usually our berries are not organic, which I know is a big no-no, but they're just not because we have a lot of people.
Primark blackberries are organic and they're awesome.
They're coming.
All my mulberries, except for the 3 trees that the horses destroyed.
Smoothies are carnivore.
But if it's a meat smoothie, that's definitely carnivore.
Meat smoothie. Well, it's just, we make it really, really thick and you just eat it with a spoon and it's almost like having ice cream. Like, it's so good. It's just so good. It's just nice to have something sweet. I mean, maybe it'll come to a point where I just have like 1 a week or maybe 2 a week.
We love Bragg's Amino. It's one of the go-to seasonings.
But even Dr. Barry's wife, like every couple days, she'll have like vegetable or a fruit or some nuts or things like that. It's still a very clean diet. And I think that's how they coined keto.
Yeah, the macadamia nuts that Mike Adams sells are ridiculously incredible. So
oh yeah, I didn't have anything. So yeah, it makes meal prep super duper easy. Yeah, I'm just blown away by it because I mean, that's a big deal every day, feeding everybody. Like, you know, when everybody's home, everybody's still working here on the farm. So
yeah,
that's a big deal.
They were doing lots of fencing. The boys are doing lots of fencing today.
Yes.
They worked on the corral chute at the ranch because they loaded the cows for tomorrow. They're going to the butcher, so that's what they did, and they're pricing a really large horse fence job this week. So I put them in contact with one of my customers that just, I don't know, adopted a horse or something, but they want to put a big old smooth wire horse fence, so that'll be cool.
Yeah. They like rolled out of bed. We did our Bible study this morning and then they left and they were out working on fencing. We had a bunch of fencing that needed repair here from the storm. We're going to be doing storm cleanup for a long time, y'all, a long time here. So they got a whole section of barbed wire fencing all replaced. They ran 3 strands of it with T-posts. And then that took them till about lunchtime. And then they came in, they real quick, like guzzled down smoothies. And then they went right back out and went over to the ranch and got busy. They had to build a chute for the cows. So they had all the fencing and things and wood and
got her done.
And they built a ramp and they got it all
They
done.
all went right on the trailer.
And then they loaded up
there you go.
our 3 Angus, which we got last year during the drought.
Yeah.
I think it was like in the spring we got those.
Fat enough to butcher.
They said they're nice and fat. So they're fat on grass. So that is exciting.
Now we're getting ready to wrap up, y'all. And it is June. All right. So I just wanted to review, class, the June verse of the month. And that would be in Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So just want to remind y'all that this month, I want to remind you of June's verse, Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. So we'll see what July is going to be like. All right. I'm not predicting anything, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what July is like. And and I like to, I kid because I care, and it's not really that funny, but you got to laugh or you cry. So there's all those things. Anything in closing, dear?
I don't think so.
I think we hit all the happy high points.
I think we did.
It's great.
It's exciting to see all these different people excited about eating good food. That's just exciting.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody that purchased meat from us. We appreciate all of it, and that's going to get rolling tomorrow. So thank you so much. Thank you for all the great website. Oh, for any of y'all that don't know, James, we made a modification to the site. So any order over $150 gets free shipping. So we've had several people take advantage of that recently. So if you order over $150 on the website, you do get free shipping. There's a couple other little things that he added on there.
Carlos wants to keep talking. He said, what did you have for lunch? We had smoothies.
I had nothing for lunch because I'm a man.
TD is full board.
I had work for lunch. All right.
Yes.
I work with these sissies, and they have to have like a siesta break on their calendar. And some funny person at my work used my login to put this sissy break on everybody's calendar and then invited everybody to it. So it looked like I did it. So that way, I don't know, they could get buy-in or something. And
for a nap?
No, it's just a cool off period. So, to dry out your women's underpants. I don't know. Because they're all a bunch of sissies.
It's like downtime. They scheduled in.
It's office time to do their office work.
Oh.
But that's when I'm out there sweating to the oldies like a rotten old bitter codger that I am. So while all y'all are eating lunch, I'm working.
Oh, Doreen's been waiting for us to go carnivore. Doreen. Yeah. I don't know why it took so long, but sometimes you got to be forced in a corner, and that's kind of where I found myself. So prepare specialty teas and coffee. I told you about my coffee, y'all. My coffee is very basic, but we do have a whole coffee line. If that's what you're talking about.
They're all scrumptious.
And they're all
You take some of our honey and you put it in the coffee or the native mud, and it is spectacular.
Yeah, they're all like plug and play.
Spectacular.
They're ready.
Yeah.
I don't have to do any special recipes for them. But I think we have to get off because we're starting to.
Yeah, Restream's starting to choke the old bandwidth on us and make us look all
Weird.
pixelated.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have been affected by naders because what hit us was basically a super tornado.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was like it was a tornado.
Yeah.
Everybody, the way it's wild.
Yeah.
But we were only without power for 3 days. So
Yeah.
I want to thank all these linemen that worked their guts out.
Yeah.
And give us power. Unfortunately, all the district of criminal mummies are working to destroy our power infrastructure, along with Gregory Abbott and the electronic vehicle scam. So there's that. But hope y'all have a very wonderful, wonderful night. And we'll see y'all in the next video.
I'll see ya. Have
Bye.
a great night, y'all.